In focus now, though, here in overtime, L3Harris, which just reported an earnings beat, sales that grew 16% in Q3 and a backlog that jumped 49% to $32 billion. Joining us now exclusively on set, L3Harris CEO and Chair Chris Kubasik. Chris, it's great to have you back here.
Always good to be here. Thank you.
You also grew margins for the quarter. Walk me through where you're seeing the demand strength coming from right now and what that supply chain picture looks like as you do grow margins.
Yeah, let me just focus back on the quarter to start with. I have to start by recognizing the 50,000 men and women at L3Harris. It's a resilient, hardworking group that's focused on the mission. Today's results, I think, really highlight their hard work. I mean, you mentioned the 16% top-line growth, the beat on EPS, and cash. We have generated positive cash every quarter since the merger in 2019. So margin expansion has been a big key focus for me and the team. This is the second consecutive quarter that we've sequentially improved our margins, and I think you see the results on the bottom line as a result of it. As far as demand, you know, space has been our hot market. We've been growing double-digit in space. The airborne, the maritime, and the land domains are also growing. And then we are one of the unique companies that have the ability to connect all the pieces. And I know how much you like acronyms through JADC2 and Joint All-Domain Command and Control. So we seem to be well positioned, and that's what we're doing, is really trying to build a portfolio that aligns with the needs in the growth markets.
What does that demand picture look like? I mean, we've seen stocks, including L3Harris, move higher given this war in Israel, in the Middle East now. We continue to have this war in the Ukraine, continues to be focused on replenishment of stockpiles of munitions, missiles, et cetera, here in the U.S. How does this continue to take shape? And just as importantly, what is your assessment of the geopolitical landscape right now?
Well, yeah, let me start with the geopolitical landscape. I mean, clearly the terrorist attack in Israel is reprehensible, and anytime there's a loss of innocent lives in a conflict is just tragic. And what we're seeing, obviously, in Israel, Ukraine, and even in the South China Sea is currently in the last 24 to 48 hours, there's been some interactions there. It's just a dangerous world, plain and simple. It's a dangerous world, and we have to have the ability to build up our national defense capabilities through technology. Now, in L3Harris's case, we have a unique portfolio because we have products and programs, or platforms, if you will. So the products are quick turn. That's one of the reasons we had the hit from the supply chain earlier than most, whether it's radios, night vision goggles, cameras, sensors. We're an ability to turn some of those things really quick, in some cases less than a week. So to the extent there's demand, which there was in Ukraine, especially for our radios, we're getting signals from Israel. We can provide capability into theater rather quickly, while also working on the longer-term programs or platforms as well.
Now, when I talk to some of your peers at other defense primes, one of the things they say is that within the supply chain, while they're seeing improvement, one area where there's continued to be challenges is rocket motors. You did just close on the deal during the last quarter, $4.7 billion deal for Aerojet Rocketdyne. How is that integration going? What is that company within your company going to look like moving forward?
Absolutely. No, we were, when you and I first met back in December talking about it, I think I told you we would close this deal in about a year. We were able to close it in 7.5 months, so we're rather proud of that. On day one, we hit the ground running, deployed L3Harris team to actually run this business. They're looking at everything with the single goal of improving or increasing deliveries and production. So whether it's the supply chain, the talent, the systems, the processes, and the choke point is, in fact, the supply chain. It's not at the rocket motor level, it's at the sub-tiers. There are very few companies, in some cases only one, that can provide igniters, nozzles, cases. So the focus on fixing the overall munitions portfolio is to get the money and get the investment to those sub-tier suppliers. There are several companies that now want to get in a rocket motor business, which I guess confirms to me that it's a growth market and a hot place to be. But it's going to be a key part of our portfolio. And again, we take a portfolio approach. We divest companies that are not core to our national defense technology focus, and we buy companies to this year, to be specific, that align with that strategy.
All right. Of course, I'm sure operating off of a continuing resolution and question marks around when we get to fiscal 2024 is going to be key when we talk about things like supply chain and the defense industrial base as well. Chris Kubasik, it's great to have you here.
All right. Thank you very much.